Marvel have announced their own upcoming wrestling series, and we have an update on the suspended AEW stars. But first, let's take a look at tonight's battle between AEW and NXT. Tonight, the participants of the Wednesday Night Wars will go head-to-head once again for the first time since WWE's Black and Gold brand switched to Tuesday nights on April 13th, 2021. The clash comes after AEW Dynamite were forced away from their Wednesday night time slot this week due to TBS's coverage of the MLB American League Championship Series game between the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Yankees, which goes down tomorrow night. AEW are billing their show as Title Tuesday, and this for good reason, as there will be 4 championship matches tonight on Dynamite. So far, 7 matches and segments have been announced thus far. First, with an interview with the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club, William Regal, who will speak to Tony Schiavone. We will also hear from MJF, who has also taken an interest in the William Regal segment due to his association with AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. And speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, the newest addition to AEW's broadcast team, Renee Paquette, will sit down with Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta. AEW Trios champions the Death Triangle will put their titles on the line against Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, this following Cassidy's All-Atlantic title win over Pac last week. Chris Jericho continues his Ring of Honor World Championship run as he defends against yet another former champion, Dalton Castle. Toni Storm puts up her interim AEW Women's World Championship on the line against former women's champion Hikaru Shida, and the main event will see Jon Moxley defend the AEW World title against former champion Hangman Page, and again something Casino ladder match chip holder MJF will be showing a keen interest in. On the other side of the coin, let's take a look at NXT, with WWE sending some main roster talent to the show in preparation of the battle with not competition AEW. First, Alba Fire, the former Kaylee Ray, will take on main roster superstar Sonya Deville. 4 matches will then take place where an NXT superstar chooses a main roster opponent for their current rival. First, with Cora Jade choosing Rhea Ripley to go up against Roxanne Perez, whilst Perez chooses Raquel Rodriguez to battle Jade. Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler of Joe Gacy's Schism Cult will find themselves across the ring from the recently returned Good Brothers, who were handpicked by Cameron Grimes, and maybe we can expect an appearance from AJ Styles as well. And finally, Channing Stacks Lorenzo will wrestle an opponent of Tony D'Angelo's choosing, who is yet to be named. As well as this, Kevin Owens has revealed on Twitter that he is heading to the show, although what exactly he will be doing on the show is yet to be confirmed as of this recording. With that said, will WWE's injection of star power beat AEW in the ratings tonight? And will this be aided by AEW's switch to a different night, which naturally brings a lower viewership? Or will AEW come out on top? Let me know in the comments down below. And next up, Warner Bros. Discovery are set to produce a behind-the-scenes AEW documentary. 1 week ago, an interview would surface with Kathleen Finch, who serves as the Warner Bros. Discovery US Network's Group Chair and Chief Content Officer, with her having big praise for the performance of All Elite Wrestling on the Warner Networks. She would go on to reveal that they hope to produce more shoulder content revolving around the world of AEW, such as reality shows, and we now have some news on their next project. According to Fightful Select, AEW, Warner, and Shed Media are set to let fans behind the curtain with a behind-the-scenes documentary entering production in the coming weeks. The report notes that filming will begin on the Wednesday, November 2nd edition of Dynamite and will capture 6 weeks worth of footage. And the report says, AEW talent and staff were informed this past week that AEW are set to produce a documentary show that will focus on the behind-the-scenes aspects of a group of All Elite Wrestling talent. We're told that the talent were given the option not to be involved in the documentary. Filming is set to start in November at the Baltimore AEW Dynamite and runs 6 weeks through the AEW tapings in Garland, Texas on December 14th. It was noted that Tony Khan will be the executive producer for the series, whilst executive producer of Shed Media, Sam Burns, will also be playing a role. It's unclear which AEW stars will be the center of the program, with there being potential for the show to air on TNT, TBS, or maybe even HBO Max, depending on the route the network take. But which AEW wrestlers do you want to see the crew follow backstage, and why is it MJF? Let me know in the comments down below. And next up, a former AEW World Champion signs a brand new contract. Following the news that current AEW World Champion Jon Moxley has signed a brand new deal with All Elite Wrestling, the promotion has now secured the signature of yet another top star. In a brand new report from Variety, it was revealed that Chris Jericho has signed a contract extension with AEW that will keep him with the company through to December 2025. It was added that Le Champion will take on increased responsibility backstage in the company, continuing to serve as a mentor to young talent, whilst becoming a producer and creative advisor, two of his new roles. When asked why he committed his future to All Elite Wrestling, Jericho would respond with "why not?" and added, "I guess the simple answer is why not? Things have been going so well in the company, and I really do feel this is my company. It's tattooed on my heart, so to speak. I've been here since day one, and there's really no reason not to be here continuing forward." AEW President Tony Khan would also add a statement to the report and said, "Chris Jericho long cemented his legacy as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, and we're fortunate to have his skills, charisma, knowledge, and insight in AEW for years to come. Chris has discovered a fountain of youth this year, and he's been having some of the very best matches of his legendary career against some of the top names in wrestling. In expanding his responsibilities, he'll continue to serve as a valuable leader with our roster, having the opportunity to utilize one of the most creative minds in the history of wrestling." Jericho would then conclude by going into character, reaffirming that he hopes to desecrate the legacy of Ring of Honor and their World Championship, before asking who's gonna stop him. He would then add that when someone slays the dragon, they will become a bigger star in the process. But what do you make of AEW re-signing Chris Jericho to a long-term deal? Let me know in the comments down below. And speaking of new shows, Marvel have announced their own upcoming wrestling series. This weekend, AAA would hold their third and final part of this year's Triplemania 30 event, which took place in the Mexico City Arena on October 15th. The show was part 3 of the 30-year celebrations of AAA's biggest show, with part 1 and 2 being held on April 30th and June 18th in Monterrey and Tijuana respectively. During the event, a huge announcement would be made, with global media giant Marvel teaming up with the Lucha Libre promotion to bring their heroes and villains to the screens inside a wrestling ring. The announcement follows an experimental relationship between the two parties, with luchadors occasionally portraying Marvel characters in matches on AAA cards. The relationship has now been taken to a whole new level, with a series set to be made named Marvel Lucha Libre, which will begin air on Disney Plus on December 21st. Shortly after the announcement was made, AAA booker and new head of talent relations Conan would discuss how the collaboration came about, with him noting, "They've never worked with wrestling before, we've never worked with Marvel, so it's kind of an experiment. We're the first ones, so we'll be the first ones to make mistakes and like that. We started it during COVID, where there were no fans, there wasn't a lot of resources. They weren't sure if they were even going to stick around with us or not. At first they brought out 2 Marvel characters. They're all based on actual Marvel characters, team versus team. You have one guy that has a Spider-Man outfit, you have another guy who has a Captain America outfit, but they have Spanish names. So at the beginning, it was like they were just trying it out to see if they were going to invest money in this. The deal is no doubt huge for the Mexican promotion, with Marvel and Disney not being short of cash to pay for such a project. AAA run a much lower budget than the likes of AEW and WWE, so let's hope they've secured the bag for this one. It's unclear if the series will air on Disney Plus worldwide, or if it will be specifically made for Mexico or just Spanish-speaking audiences, although I'm sure we'll learn more as the weeks roll on. But will you be checking out Marvel Lucha Libre come the end of the year? Let me know in the comments down below. And next we have an update on the suspended AEW stars. We are now over 6 weeks removed from the suspensions of CM Punk, Ace Steel, and The Elite from AEW, this following a reported real-life backstage altercation after the All Out pay-per-view. Since then, AEW have avoided mentioning the individuals involved by name, with only indirect mentions of the situation taking place on screen. As previously discussed, AAA would hold part 3 of Triplemania 30 from Mexico City this past weekend, where a suspended AEW star was originally set to appear. According to AAA booker Conan on his Keeping It 100 podcast, Kenny Omega was the planned opponent for Mega Champion Hijo del Vikingo. However, his ongoing suspension has not only blocked him from appearing in AEW, but elsewhere too. Instead, he would find himself successfully defending his strap against another AEW name, Rey Fenix. The match was set to follow Omega's run with the gold during his time as the belt collector, although his injury break led to the title being vacated, with the original plan plans said to have been for him to drop the belt to Vikingo directly. The son of a Viking would instead have to win a multi-man match without Omega in it to win the vacant belt. After the match was pulled from this weekend's show, there were also plans to have Omega record a videotape directed at whoever walked away as the winner, but Konnan was told that this was no longer possible due to ongoing legal issues. It's unclear if this confirms that a legal process has begun between the two sides, or if there is still just concerns that one might start, with one party said to be threatening legal action against the other. Based on what Konnan said, it looks like this may have happened. On top of this, Dave Meltzer provided some very interesting information in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, noting that even after nearly 2 months since the incident, nobody involved has heard anything from AEW regarding their future, including Punk and the EVPs of the company. And Dave would note, regarding the situation with those suspended over the fight, CM Punk, Young Bucks, Ace Steel and Kenny Omega, none of the 5 have heard anything from AEW. All of the 5 are continuing to get paid, and when you figure the contracts for 4 of the 5 are well in excess of $1 million, the total weekly outlay for people who are not working is enormous. At least one person, not one of the 5 who was there, has not been interviewed, and there may be others. Most are frustrated because they want to be back working at this point. It seems that for now the internal investigation is still ongoing and that legal action may have already been taken, although the situation remains very foggy from the outside looking in. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 masked AEW wrestlers unmasked.